40 kilowatt hours.
40 kilowatt hora.
Sí, sí.
Mirar todo para irle mirando.
Gracias.
No, chavos, para que vayan mirando la estructura para
Gracias.
How do we explain how
Okay.
this was?
I'll
before?
just say it in English and you can translate.
Yeah.
So there's 4 ribs which connect the panel frame to the vehicle. 1, 2, 3,
Okay, esos
4.
4 vigas conectan
Sí.
todo la estructura, el frame, ¿cómo se dice?
Y-
Sí, eso sí sé decir porque acá
Hay cosas que no sé cómo se dice en español
el
directo.
frame es como el fierro, el armazón.
El marco.
El marco.
Ajá,
frame.
ajá.
Y aquí es la conexión de los paneles,
Ajá.
pero
Como ves, mira lo que hizo el viento. O sea,
Los pistones.
Sí.
sí. Pues se jalan, esto es lo que te acaba de mostrar él, el brazo ese, se jalan.
We spent the better part of 2 hours trying to explain and have Bea translate the function of the solar array that was currently in pieces on the ground of this workshop. Eventually we got to a point where Asael, who is the owner of this workshop, upped the speed on how we were going to put it back together. The complete reconstruction of the solar array was still pending on one thing: our solar panels. Were they going to work or were they going to fail?
Are going on a run. Let's get scratching.
Oh, I'm just laughing at the square.
The square?
It's a square.
Not a square to square.
A square isn't square?
A square doesn't stay square unless the triangle's involved.
Oh.
Like that's so basic.
It was early and no one understood what Keegan was on about. We all giggled enough for him to make his point. But mostly, we were just glad that everything was moving in a good direction.
We thought it was very important to tell everybody what the biggest failing was and why the panels were able to be ripped off the roof. There's 2 points of failure that we're learning from and we're trying to rebuild accordingly. One, and the biggest failure that we can think of, is when we put the panels away the last time before we took off, I forgot to put a bolt in place to secure the panel. And we had arms that retracted down like this, and then there were 2 eyelets that lined up like that when the panels were in, and we used to put a little bolt through with a little spring pin on one side, which would stop the panels from then lifting up with the wind. And what happened was I didn't put this bolt in, and when the wind got under the panels, it lifted it up to a point where it lifted it up and then sheared off the other side. And I'm going to show you what the shear off the other side looked like.
Also very easy to forget because these panels are so heavy and only like a gale force wind
Exactly.
could have possibly have lifted that. Me and Jolie are not able to just lift up that whole array by ourselves.
We have 3 actuators that lift 400 pounds each. So that's 1,200 pounds of pushing force to get those panels up normally. And so, yeah, it took something like a Santana wind to get them up in the first place. But once they're up, they become very light very quickly because it's on a fulcrum, and that's how the physics work behind it all. And they got up and then just became like a feather once they were up and then sheared off the other side. But I'm going to show you what happened on the other side. So there's 2 examples of what happened once the panels were up and got tilted. This is one. Basically, we have 2 bolts which joined the arms together, and the bolts got ripped out, and basically the nut and the bolt just separated because there was so much force wind pulling the panels off the side of the van that the bolt just got ripped out completely. And then, where it didn't get ripped out completely, it completely sheared the metal. And you can see that here, it's just absolutely just destroyed it. And that's the kind of wind power that we're talking about. So, sure, we made a mistake, but we were talking about a lot of force in the wind, which absolutely just destroyed the panels. So.
After explaining how the panels became dislodged from their brackets, we had to focus our energy on continuing to explain the intricacies of the solar array, just so that when we got it back together, it would still be somewhat functional.
Bear, are you able to explain that? Because these are going through the bearings, these channels need to be perfect, otherwise they won't slide in and out.
Sí, es que, o sea, esto es lo que va, los valeros van adentro, ¿no? Esto es lo que desliza. Y estos tienen que estar súper rectos, perfectos, porque si no, no...
Yeah.
Eso es lo que tiene que hacer.
Look.
¿Cómo se dice de nombre?
W40.
WD-40. En Australia.
Okay.
Listo.
So we've started to rip all the good panels from the back of the vehicle apart and replace them. Put the good panels on the top of the array because the very, very top of the array is the most damaged, and we're going to swap them and put the bad ones now in the back of the panel and try and fix them.
And that's the first aluminum weld. It's very hard to do. I'm glad I'm not in charge of it. What are you doing?
Trying to get these bad boys to lie flat.
To lie flat. Oh yeah, okay. Because there's these bubbling. Yeah, fortunately, the panels that they put together yesterday over here, they all seem pretty good except for one. There was one in here that I saw that I was like, I don't know about that. And these are the most important because they're the ones sliding in and out of the array that we're putting back together. But these ones go on the back, and Keegan's trying to get rid of these bubbles here. He's trimming them and whatnot. I'm really unsure whether it's good to use these panels or not because they have cracks and the internal ribbons are exposed, and that can be quite bad if water gets in. It can cause a short out and a fire and whatnot. So, and these are the 6 that I have to replace. So Keegan's hacking at them and trying to get them to fit and making them as safe as possible.
Test it, see if it fits. Update is that the night is coming and all the Mexican boys have gone home, and me and Jelly are going to work into the night to try and finish this here top array. Fun! Lots of fun. Let me show you what we're doing. The lads finished these 2 top arrays tonight. Oh, it's Joel's bum. Some of them are really hard workers. Others are not so much. But that's alright.
Especially one. There's one in particular.
This is the top array. So we're going to attempt to attach these 2 solar arrays to that main frame over there. And then in the morning, Saturday morning, the boys can come back and we'll see if all the rollers work. Hopefully. And then we'll lift the
We want to get the fuck out of this park.
tent onto the roof, and yeah, we can GTFO out of this here parking lot / workers' backyard / little Mexican paradise down in the hollow. playing a new game. Man, do you want a beer, Jolie?
I would love a beer.
You'd love a beer, eh? How long, my heart far with you? You're my brown-eyed girl. May I please get past you so I can get 2 beers from the fridge? Is that okay? What do you want?
Instead of asking me
Yes.
for the beers, I will pass you the beers. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
I think we only have 1 beer left. No, we've been drinking a lot.
I mean, Joel has been.
Even though the situation was super chaotic, we all seemed to find a groove as a team and the array was slowly being stitched back together.
Yeah, look at it.
Ahí mero, Fer, ahí mero.
I want to get out of here. 7 people are doing 3 people job.
True. Very true. What's going on?
Everything. Always. It's all I know how to say in Spanish.
Almost there. 1 left.
Excited?
Mhm.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! You can't tell.
We're getting out of here today.
Okay, the day did drag on a bit, and even though we had our doubts, we did still manage to get the solar panels back on the roof, functional, and ready to rewire to do some final repairs and
Bolts
testing.
back in that were forgotten last time. And the whole reason why we're here. These 4 bolts.
3.
3 bolts.
Probably don't even need 3. Probably only need 2.
Let's put 3 in. Fuck, well, after a very rushed ending, we're getting the fuck out of this workshop. Not even close to finishing anything else. ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
It's probably about the most I've been able to say to these guys. Sí. Sí, arriba.
No, pues muchas gracias.
Gracias, gracias a ti.
Muchas
A ustedes.
Muchas gracias, man.
Muchas gracias.
No sé si...
After that, maybe we'll be heading south.
It's just not working.
Just not working.
And this will be the first time that we've done this since the accident. Probably my last one-on-one